We are going to take a look at what this week holds for Bitcoin and Ether price, but definitely check out the website shiningbull.com for my trading signal service and predictive books and book bundle deals if interested, as well as just hanging out on the website for a while because now I'm posting news and future news articles there. So let's get to this. Just also a reminder, definitely follow me on Twitter and get the notifications for this podcast because I give out a lot of free info on these channels. So as for this week in Bitcoin and Ether price, I, the astrologer, live in Newfoundland, so all of this is going to be in Newfoundland time, which is its own unique time zone in the world. So getting started, on Sunday I see an important downward retest taking place as Moon crosses the Gandanta of Jeshta into Mula, trining Venus, who has been causing a lot of problems for the crypto industry. And then also on Sunday early morning, we're then likely to head up as Moon enters into trine with Mars and Leo upon entrance into Sagittarius. But Sunday midday, when Moon starts trining Rahu, I see that this can again create a serious downward retest. Then Monday, starting very early in the morning, once Moon starts trining Jupiter early in the morning, approaching both Bitcoin's natal Rahu and the full moon, an upward movement starts which can be powerful. Note that this is also a powerful time for Ether price due to Mars transiting towards natal Jupiter and Venus for Ethereum. Generally, I see the rest of the week being up, but very early on Thursday morning when Moon opposes Venus, who transits in the Gandanta of Ashlesha Nakshatra and also over Bitcoin's natal Mars, this looks like a drop is likely. Nonetheless, when Moon enters into Aquarius into opposition with Mars some hours later, also early morning on Thursday, this should take price up, led by ETH. Thursday night, a drop is likely while Moon transits retrograding Saturn in Aquarius. The early morning of both Friday and Saturday, early mornings, should show important upswings as Moon in Aquarius trines Sun and Mercury in Gemini, and then Mercury subsequently enters into Cancer. So that was the weekly forecast for the week ahead in Bitcoin and Ether price. And for intraday traders, those placing several trades within the same day, my trading signal service is best. Okay, so next let's talk about some news items from the past week. And actually what I need to cover here is all about Ethereum. There's 3 items of news relating to Ethereum, which are pretty wild actually. So let me tell you about this. On Wednesday, June 28th, Moon was transiting with Ketu in Swati Nakshatra while trining both Sun in Ardra and retrograding Saturn in Shatabisha Nakshatras. And then the next day, Thursday, June 29th, just after Sun had passed the exact trine to retrograding Saturn, okay, and entered into Aquarius in the Navamsha, where Saturn transits in the Rashi, 3 fascinating Ethereum-related developments were announced. The 3, so firstly, so that you know, the 3 nakshatras where Ketu, Sun, and Saturn transited are all ruled by Rahu. Headless Ketu is in Swati Nakshatra in the heart of Libra, related to financial markets. Sun, the leaders within society, is in Ardra Nakshatra of technology, the type of technology which destroys in order to recreate. And then Saturn is in Shatabisha Nakshatra, a place of mysterious secrets in the sign of Aquarius, which relates to global trade, finance, and wealth. Now, as Saturn is retrograding in this nakshatra, he is in a way lenient, revealing secrets, the secrets of Shatabisha nakshatra that are usually held. So leaders right now, that's why leaders, the the sun in Ardra, are acting in relation to crypto and blockchain in a way that reveals their deeper understanding of how to capitalize on the destruction to come due to this technology's impact on finance. So they're not telling us their secrets, but they are letting on, with the actions they're taking, they are letting on to what they know about what the future holds. And that's where these three new news items come into play, which I'll get to. So the three things that happened on June 28th and 29th were that, first, Robert Leshner, founder of Compound, tweeted the founding of his new company called Superstate Funds. Superstate will buy U.S. treasuries, government securities, and the like, recording ownership of these shares for their clients on the Ethereum blockchain. The idea is that eventually these shares can be traded between parties on Ethereum, essentially putting government securities on Ethereum. Next, Pyth Network announced that their staked ETH to USD, so staked ETH, STETH, staked ETH to USD price feed, fruit of a partnership with Lido, the largest Ether staker, was now live. Staked ETH is a liquid asset, so it can be traded just like ETH. In recent past, especially in times of market stress, staked ETH has depegged from ETH. This STETH, staked ETH USD feed, created by Pyth, is already being used by the likes of Synthetics and Venus Protocol, which are DeFi protocols that allow users to play with liquidity in various ways. And it will be integrated by various dApps. The idea is that staked ETH, STETH, has a strong future as a liquid asset to be traded directly against USD, just like ETH is. Lastly, CME Group announced that on Monday, July 31st, its new futures product, a Bitcoin Ether ratio, which lets people trade the correlation between the value of Bitcoin and Ether, will go live. This naturally shows that this sector leader believes that the difference between the values of Bitcoin and Ether relative to USD will become more dynamic beginning on Monday, July 31st. Such dynamism can, of course, be the result of either market manipulation or the divergence in the perceived roles that these two assets play in society. Usually, as we know, it's both of those things. Okay, so at the time of these announcements, Rahu was transiting in the Gemini Pada of Ashlesha Nakshatra, a very playful and tricky place in the zodiac, in trine to Ethereum's natal Venus, who is in Magha Nakshatra, related to the idea of a dynasty which we have inherited, in this case, a financial dynasty. Both of these nakshatras are ruled by headless Ketu. Aries, the sign where Rahu transits, is Ethereum's 6th house. Rahu in the 6th house both increases enemies, but in the end destroys enemies. Ethereum's natal Venus, who Rahu was and is trining in the sky, is the lord of the 7th house of markets and the 12th house of foreign countries, placed in the 10th house of life purpose, closely conjunct and retrograding towards natal Jupiter, who rules the 2nd and 5th houses, which are wealth-related houses. That's in Ethereum's natal chart. So trade, including international trade, is Ethereum's future. And right now, there are certain industry leaders, both in crypto and TradFi, who see this and see that the role of Ethereum in global trade is different from Bitcoin. Just as I mentioned in my Ethereum by 2026 predictions book, and also in a video short that you can watch on the Shining Bull YouTube titled, Will Ethereum Overtake Bitcoin? While Bitcoin will be the new global reserve currency, currency of nations, international trade, including trade of Bitcoin among other commodities, will be facilitated by Ethereum. Now, with Leshner's superstate, it looks like trade of government securities will also in the future be facilitated by Ethereum. So it cannot be understated the future importance of Ethereum to global finance. On one hand, the CME Bitcoin Ether ratio futures seems to be opening up a new metric of price manipulation by large TradFi players. On the other hand, normalizing the trade of STETH to USD instead of just to ETH and putting government securities on Ethereum definitely seems like it will make ETH more bulletproof in the future. As Mars, the warrior and ruler of Aries, where Rahu transits, is now approaching Ethereum's natal Jupiter and Venus, it does seem that Rahu is using tactical war games in order to secure ETH's future well-being, creating new risks, but with the end of destroying future enemies to Ether during this transit of his through Ethereum's 6th house. Remember that, as I mentioned, Rahu in the 6th house both increases enemies, but in the end destroys enemies. So that was all for this week. Check out my website, shiningbull.com. I write out articles like news and future news articles in a more readable way. So that's all, and I'll see you next week.